What's up, people? Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into the Black Ramen Podcast, the highlight of your week. You're welcome. My name is Chatty Patty, aka Madam Straw Hat, aka the Celestial Dragon, and of course, you already know who's on the pirate ship. I got with me.
Hello, hello. This is Sleepy Bree, Tea Sippin' Bree. Nice to see ya. And yes, I do have a little guest with me this time.
What's up, people? This is Derby, aka Sexual Chocolate. Yeah, let's get started.
All right, so we have some chilling things to talk about. I'm gonna let Bree hit it off again. This is her show
Oh,
again.
you're making me drop this. All right. So,
While
in
holding
a
the
little
timer
bit of
on.
news, have you heard about Manga One? Now, let me first preface: We are not talking about one, the mangaka behind One Punch Man and Mob Psycho. No, Manga
We hope
One.
not.
So far, no. So far, Manga One is a app version for the publisher Shogakukan, who publishes manga and such. And there is a big scandal around them right now because twice over they hired someone, a manga artist, knowing that this person had done some shady stuff with kids. And instead of cutting loose and not hiring them, they just said, it's okay, we'll just change your name and no one will notice. What a plot twist. We noticed. And we are not very happy about it. So, some specific details. There were two manga artists. The first one had done work on a manga called Jojin Kamen, if you ever heard of it. And he was, like I said, a teacher in a school doing some not good things to kids. He got in trouble. But they said, it's okay. We'll change your name. We'll change your name. It'll be fine. And they published. But like I said, they did this with another person. This one wasn't a teacher, at least, when messing with kids, but he did some inappropriate groping stuff to underage minors. And this one was for a big upcoming series called Act Your Age. Now,
Just
admittedly,
act age.
Act
Act
Age, my
age.
bad, my bad. Shonen Jump, One Weekly Jump had hired him, but they, after the conviction, because again, this isn't alleged, this is convicted. After the conviction, Shonen Jump said, yeah, we're not working with you, cut him loose. But this, Manga One, said, nah, we'll take him, gave him a new name, and let him keep publishing. So, how do y'all feel about this?
I mean, the publisher took their shot, I guess, in hopes that no one noticed something very, very easy to notice. Especially in this time right now. Like I don't know if anyone remembers, like a few years back, that Nickelodeon documentary had dropped, and it's like,
Mm.
yo, like I understand you're not in America, but understand people watching. People are paying much closer attention, so that was a wild move on your part. And also, in this day and age, I can't imagine you're that hot pressed for mangaka. Ain't no way you don't have someone in the tuck who, is not doing these things to just hire them instead. So it's a weird choice all around.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm like, damn, is this story that good for y'all niggas to just? Nah, I'm not. Listen. Don't. We don't
Nah, I
believe in
understand what
supporting
you
the.
mean. I understand what you mean. Like,
I might be like, it's not gonna be bad if I just, chapter 1 or 2. No. Ladies and gentlemen, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. This I might not even keep
just
this
that
on here. Listen,
bit.
you know what's messed up? It's just the fact that I would understand if they didn't know. The fact that they knew this is public information and they still proceeded to be like, you know what? Let's just put an alias or let's just change your name. Cause yeah, that's wild to me. Like, and I see corporations and they really don't care. This is why the government tries to enforce child labor laws because we don't care about kids. We don't. We use kids to make sneakers and do all that. You think they care about you doing something to a kid and writing a book at the same time? No, profit is a profit. And I'm not surprised, but we did have this discussion earlier before all three of us became parents.
I think when the act age controversy first came out, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like maybe 3 years ago. right? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh no, it was like 6. It's like 2020.
All right, fresh
Yeah.
when we first started, because we now celebrating our 7-year anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of Black Ramen. But yes, so we did talk about this, but we were talking about it through a lens of us not being parents, right? So we did say we can separate. We talked about separating the artist from the art, and it's fair to say we all agreed that
Depends on the crime.
yeah. We all said no. That's not a thing.
There's a
can't
reason
separate
we
that.
all still support Ufotable. Like okay, you didn't pay your taxes. That's bad, but
You ain't.
yeah, I'm watching.
I mean, yeah, you ain't hurt nobody. You know,
I mean, you hurt somebody by not paying that, but it's down the
they still
line.
eating. They still eating. No kids was harmed in the process of these films.
Not directly.
Not directly,
Okay.
but
There's some school that don't have the funds no more.
some school they be all right. Education is everywhere. They be all right. Read, ladies and gentlemen, read. But anyway, I do. We did agree that there's no such thing as separating the artist from the art, and we've all agreed that regardless of how good it is, even though we believe that, there's a lot of people that don't. But now, what I want to ask you guys, now coming from a lens of parents, how do you feel about it now? Are you more gun-ho, like, put that nigga under a jail, tie them motherfuckers up, fuck the publisher, fuck, like, you already know where I stand because I already gave you an example. But what?
I mean, I definitely do move a little bit more towards, put that nigga under the jail. But I do stand on, it depends on the crime. For these kind of crimes, it's like, I'm sorry, you really shouldn't be. Like, you should be. This is something that you should be blacklisted for. It's weird that you're not. I don't control the blacklist. If somebody wants to take a chance on you, I can't stop them. And I don't think, like, you should, like, force the publisher into bankruptcy, but I'm not reading it. Right? So it still
Wait, hold
falls.
up. Let's
What's that?
dive into that. You don't think the publisher should be forced into bankruptcy because of this decision?
It's something I would like, but I don't think the government should force it. Do you see
Okay,
what I'm saying?
but you would agree that that would
Yeah,
be,
if everyone stopped reading their stuff, sure, that's fine. But I'm not saying like it should be made to happen through like legislation in any way. That's where I stand. It's like
No, that
this
was
is
a
still gonna
decision for the
fall into
fans.
this is still gonna fall into a personal decision for every fan. Like at the end of the day, you have to decide what you're willing to tolerate and where your line is. And if that's not your line, I can't make it your line.
But that's considered a crime, isn't it? What the publisher did. Would that be considered a crime what they did?
I don't think so, no.
They're not under scrutiny for what they did?
They're under scrutiny, but they're under scrutiny mainly because of, the shadiness of, I guess, the motive behind the alias. But aliases and, pen names have always been a thing. How
Yes.
ghostwriters are a thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, could we down the line see like, like a few people have ghostwriters that are, with shady things, but they borrow like a clean name to like publish under? It's possible.
Okay. Bree?
Yeah, no matter what, it always depends on the crime, like what I would do, what I would say, and how I would react. But any crimes involving kids is a hard no for me. Like that was true before, that is true now. That would, unless something takes over my brain and I am dead, is always a hard no for me. So it's so fucked up and disgusting that they think, they could just go on and keep moving like nothing happened. Granted, within the criminal justice system.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous.
I'm just thinking Law and Order. I'm sorry. You remember the
No, I
criminal
heard
justice
you. I heard you.
But
There are certain
All right, let me stop.
somebody call Benson. Send her to Japan.
There are certain things I would question. After you get in trouble, you get punished, you do the time or whatever it is, should you be forgiven and allowed back into society? Yay or nay? For me, pedophile shit, still fucking no. Like you don't get your slap on the wrist. I don't care if you do 50 years in jail. You don't get to just come back from that. That is an absolute bad. I think murder I would be more generous of than pedophile stuff. Like you kill someone, you go in, you do the time, you come out. I'm a little more willing to give you a clean slate, especially depending on the circumstances of that murder. But crimes involving children and sex crimes are two lines that just should never be crossed. So no, even if, say, they pay their fine, which is disgusting that this can be ended with just a fine, you're not done with it and cleaned just because you might have gone to jail or you paid your fine. What was that phrase? Any crime where the punishment is a fine isn't a crime for the rich. If you can pay your way out and get your clean slate, no, that's not enough for me. So it is absolutely terrible. I agree that this publisher should be in serious shit. Not legal shit, but social shit, financial shit. Because this was not a good decision. For what? For just one manga, even if it's a popular one, that was worth keeping? Like, absolutely no. There are some things that are not acceptable. If I ever hear anything about Oda, especially convicted Oda, doing something, I would drop One Piece and curse that too. Like, that is how I feel. No matter how much I love a series, there are some things that are not okay. Again, I don't need it to be legally shamed, but I believe in, I guess you can consider it cancel culture, but certain things, for me personally, you're dead to me. I don't need this, I don't want it, and I certainly can't enjoy it. So, smaller, lesser crimes, tax evasion, yada, 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 we can get past that. But yeah, this, no.
All right, so nothing really changed for you as a lens, as a parent. It's just the same. It's just you've been consistent on your feelings on this topic.
A slight addition because it's
Yeah.
a bit more. It's closer to home, if you will.
Yeah, looking at a kid you've seen from a baby and like seeing that someone could do that to them, it's whole, like, I thought it was fucked up before, but now through the parent perspective, it's like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like I understood almost like you understand it almost like a textbook level of understanding. It's like, I understand that this is bad and I don't like it. Like, it's bad because it feels bad. As a human, it's bad. But when it's home, like, it's like, fuck you. Like, yeah, it just gets worse. So it basically went from like a 9 to like an 11 on a scale of 10.
I agree with you guys. It just reinforces that no matter how bad a person done some shit, if whatever they're doing is a product that can be profitable, I notice that people will turn a blind eye to it as long as a profit is being made, and that makes it scarier as a consumer and as a parent as well. So
a comedian who made a joke like that, he was like, yeah, it was talent over everything. If you're talented, they'll let you get away with murder happily.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, another example, I don't know if you guys know this, Bob Marley, who is known for being like a legendary reggae singer, conscious singer, always sung about, peace and freedom. He had multiple children, and some of the baby moms he had, they were like 13, 12. Yeah, like he had a issue too, but when you see these documentaries, they're not going into it like that. I think it was one documentary where they were able to talk to one of his baby moms, and she said, yeah, before I turned 13, Bob Marley would see me in the street and be like, yo, whenever you get your menstrual, let me know. So we could, yeah. And everybody in Jamaica knew the baby moms. They knew how old they were, and nobody said anything. Because why? Because it was Bob Marley. And it's just hard. It's just scary to me when you're raising a child in that type of world we live in. And it's not just areas of, it being Japan or the States. This is worldwide. You are not safe at all. And it's a scary fucking place. Like, I'm fine if it's scary for me. But then as a parent, you have a responsibility to take care of your kid. And there's but so much you could do. Because I'm barely getting it together for me. You mean to tell me I gotta look out for my little spawn right here too? I can't be with him 24/7. He has to start school soon. I gotta pray the teacher's not doing anything crazy. I gotta pray these kids ain't doing anything crazy. I gotta pray the janitors ain't doing anything crazy in that daycare. It's just so much going on. And then it's like, you know, people are so quick to turn a blind eye. Children are not safe. The most innocent creatures in the world are never safe because it's easy to, you know, for them to become prey. Because they're not like, it's just wild.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I mean that's part of the reason that everyone says like, yo, you gotta teach them as early as you can. Like once they know words, you gotta start teaching them about, you know, some of the horrible shit out there, and just make sure that line of communication is open so that they can come and tell you whatever the fuck happened.
Another thing too, like we did talk about Oda, right? Oda, questionable. There are some things that he did do that made me side eye him. All right, so you
So
know,
just be very specific with what you're saying.
no, I'm being very specific. Remember he was the apprentice for the creator of Rurouni Kenshin, so we all know that. We also know he also participated, and a lot of mangakas also participated too, in the anniversary of doing a tribute to Rurouni Kenshin. After this creator got convicted, right? He got convicted. He paid a fine, right? It's not like he's denying it. He can't deny it. He got caught with it red-handed. He was, if you guys don't know, the creator of Rurouni Kenshin got caught with child videos that were, he had a mass amount that would make, what's his name, Jared from Subway be like, whoo, that's enough. That's how much he got caught with. He got caught with enough to sell.
No.
So he got convicted and he paid a fine. But a lot of people were critiquing Oda or criticizing Oda, saying that, well, because people came to him asking questions, if I'm not mistaken, was like, hey, do you denounce being friends with him? Did you know this was going on? He kept quiet. He never said anything, but he always gave him support. So
That's definitely my greatest disappointment with Oda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite enough for me to totally blacklist him, but it is something that will always mar my impression of him. Because if you interact with someone like that, it depends how much you knew, but even if you didn't know then, you know now, and you're still willing to write a tribute to him, I don't know. I feel like how much someone has to leave an impression on you to be like that close to you, that knowing they did this, you're still willing to stand up for them. That's crazy to me. I can't understand that. I don't know if, I can't even imagine if someone close to me in my life, a mentor figure or dear friend, turned out to be a pedophile. I can't imagine me still writing a tribute.
Yeah.
I can kind of get if he stays silent, like absolutely silent, because like that sense of conflict, like, yo, you're a pedophile, but at the same time, you're close to me. I don't want to speak out because I don't need you to come out burning and condemning, but I'm damn sure not writing a tribute for you.
Well,
silence is not an option.
This is allegedly. This is allegedly. This is what I'm about to say. They also said while he was going through like trial and everything, the creator of Rurouni Kenshin, Oda was one of the friends that wrote a letter about him as a person. You know how when you're in trial and then you have
lawyers always ask for character witnesses.
I'm a little more okay with that because before you're convicted, I'm willing to understand if someone you're close to wants to give you the benefit of the doubt. Before you are convicted, or after convicted, that's set in stone. That's absolute. So I won't hold it against someone writing a character letter. But to still, again, if you're saying he wrote a tribute after the conviction, that's what's messy to me.
Oda knows something. He's not saying anything, but I think Oda knows something. I think Oda
No,
knows something.
no.
I think Oda.
Partially because I don't want him to know something.
I don't want him to know anything either. The One Piece ain't finished.
So
I
until
don't
it
want
is
him to know something
confirmed
either.
Yo, he could know something once we know what the One Piece is. That's crazy. Nah. If he knows
That's a
something,
whole
he can come forward.
we just contradicted this whole episode right now.
Yeah, right,
It's
nah.
like,
No,
yo,
I don't think we have because Oda hasn't been accused of something wicked. We haven't seen anything on him. So it's a question of now the second degree back. So he is in a similar position to the publisher Manga One. Manga One knew post conviction and still says, not only are we cool with you, we're going to help you to keep going.
Nah, I would say the publisher is worse.
Yeah. Well,
Writing a
similar
little
position. And that
blurb
is
real
not the
quick
pedophile himself,
is bad,
but
but
afterwards.
hiring someone
Hiring is crazy.
when you have
Hiring someone
options,
and helping to hide their identity, knowing what they did.
mhm.
and
That's
the other
crazy.
one I can easily see like a culture shock situation where it's just like the publishers came in and said, "Hey, yo, Oda, we need you to write what we need you to write," and he just said, "Fine, here."
That's crazy. Them niggas is like, yo, let's change your social real quick. Let's get this your new name? they did a whole John Wick on him, bro. Like you would have thought.
Well, full with
Like,
sex.
yo, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's kind of disheartening. Another thing too, this does not like I'm not just gonna be mad at just the mangakas and the publishers as well. I do feel like, say for instance, if Oda did know and it came out that he did know, I will hold him responsible and be like, all right, nigga, now I can't really fuck with you now. Because you've been new and you still didn't say anything. I'm not saying it's his job to say like anything. Like Bree said, he could be quiet, but the support I can't condone. I can't condone. Like now it's like, fuck you, fuck everything you stand for, and may you die under the jail. That's what it is right now. If it's up, it's stuck. So yeah, it's some hard times, ladies and gentlemen. Now, not only do you have to read the back of the manga when you go to the Barnes and Nobles, now you gotta Google. When you read the back, you gotta Google the mangaka and be like, hold on.
Is that his real name?
Is
Nah,
that his real name? And is there any charges? And after that, you got to Google the publisher and see if they have any, if they were caught changing niggas' names and socials. And then you don't have to question. It's like, all right, now I could go to the register and purchase this. See, this is why I pirate most of the time before I put it.
But
You don't
hey,
know
you
what
gotta
those pirate
do
people are doing.
you gotta do what you gotta do. But which leads me to the question, a slight shift but along the similar veins. Things are different now than they were 20 years ago. As an anime fan,
What is she doing?
how do you feel watching things now compared to when you did years ago? For example, I was easily maybe 9 or 10.
Wait,
Wait,
what
she
is
got
the
paper in her
doing?
mouth. She got paper in her mouth.
No,
Oh,
she
it's
don't.
gone now. What is that?
Oh, okay. She
Oh, all right, got you.
We are not brand endorsed, but I'd be willing. Hit me up. But
I'm
so
keeping
I
that
started
in. I'm keeping that in.
like consciously knowing I was getting into anime, maybe 9, 10 years old. Okay, I'm giving you more, greedy girl. And so at that time, I was younger than most of the characters I was watching.
Uh-huh.
So especially in romances, it was so much easier saying, oh, they're so old and mature. Watching Inuyasha with Kagome like 15, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so old. I can't imagine being 15. Now, hitting easily twice that, I'm looking like that is a child sent back to feudal Japan. And I feel comfortable. I start now looking at Inuyasha a little fuzzy because aren't you 50? 15.
That's
Okay,
what you-
a little weird.
First-
That's a
Oh.
really, really light case. I think it's a little fine. I rationalize he aged slower, half demon. You know, lifespans are a little different. It's
But
good enough.
No, let's
But
be
that
let's
kind
be,
of thing. Like, how do you feel aging from a kid being the same age, younger than these characters, to the same age as these characters? Like, think of high school DxD, and the boob physics when you're 10 is a lot different than the boob physics when you're a grown ass adult.
First
You're
of all,
looking like, yo,
physics needs to be studied.
what
Okay.
high schooler has titties like that? Also, why are you zooming in on her panties? I am an adult. Should I be watching this?
We
it
listen. We
okay?
already know what sells, and we already know that's just part of shonen culture, right? So the thing is like, as a kid, you don't really notice things like that. You're just like, huh. It's when you get older, you start realizing that when they do the reboot or the continuation of Inuyasha, and you notice what's his brother's name that got the kid with
Sashomaru and Rin. What
Rin.
the actual fuck?
Yeah, when they
So-
confirmed that, we're like, shit.
No,
That
Usagi
hit.
dropped us.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh nah. But as a kid though, I've always never, when there was like a big age gap when it came to characters, that was an automatic no. I always dropped it. I never felt comfortable about it. Even if it's like, especially if it's somebody that raised
You say
that
never,
person.
even when you were young?
Nah, I never liked it. Never liked it. I'm like, but that's your daddy. He was like your daddy. Like, what was that? There was one anime where this guy found a half demon girl in the forest. You know what I'm talking about. And the story was so good. He took her in. She had horns, and he made her horns, like he made pigtails so people don't know that she had horns.
If it's for my daughter, I can even defeat the demon lord?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That was after Usagi dropped. We all knew.
I didn't. You know what? It was during an anime meetup, and then I was like, "This is what I'm watching." And one guy was like, I was like, "For real? Why you don't like it?" He was like, "Do you know what happens?" I said, "No." So apparently, he was reading the manga, and he said, "Yeah, that's his boo now. They together." I said, "They get together?" He said, "Yeah, they get together." So I dropped it automatically. I dropped the show and dropped everything. So I was like,
But-
"Nah, that's not it."
So that's a particular brand of show where
Mm-hmm.
it's always a little iffy. So Usagi Drop seems to be the one that most everyone around my age who has watched anime for a while, that's what we call it, is the Usagi Drop effect or something like that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of shows where it's like there's a grown dude, he adopts a little girl, and we're all like, oh, this is kind of sweet. And then you remember in the back of your head Usagi Drop, and you go, but is it sweet though? So
Nah.
it's a lot of them like that. So I think Hige Hero did it, and we're like, come on, bro. None of your friends gonna stop you from doing this damage to your life. There was the Demon Lord daughter, that was rough. There's one this season where like in episode 1, the little girl he adopts turns into a succubus, and we're all just like, God damn it. Everything else
Remember that
about the
one?
show's wonderful, but damn
that, yeah,
that. And here's
it
the thing:
turns.
in that show, he's not showing any attraction to her, but because she's a succubus, it's like it's only a matter of time
Before,
they
yeah.
hit us with it. So I was like, yeah, just
You
oof.
you remember that show where that guy was coming home from work and he sees a girl kneeled over in a
That's Hige Hero.
yeah, that's it. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Like he just randomly adopts a 17-year-old girl that's just outside instead of calling the police.
Or her parents, which is like crazy.
I don't know her parents' number, so I call the police.
You got
She
her
ain't give me her
phone.
parents'
Give me your
number.
phone. Give me your
Uh-huh.
phone. Give me your phone.
I'm not gonna
But
steal
no.
the child's phone, then the police gonna arrest me.
Oh, you rather steal her virginity than her phone. Got you.
I said I'm calling the police.
No, that's what he was doing pretty much. He said, all right.
I'm like, whoa.
Listen, regardless of the matter, I just look at it as a form of grooming.
Yeah,
I look
that's
at
what
it like
is.
that. Yeah, so it's definitely a form of grooming. I don't like it. Especially now looking at a lens from being older and being a parent.
I don't
Nah.
know. I don't know if I can fully see that, like, oh, I've always hated it. Because I remember watching Sailor Moon as a good girl, loving it and not minding when, Sailor Moon's in middle school and good old Tuxedo Mask is hitting college. Like,
See?
I didn't flinch. I was like,
I didn't know that.
that's fine.
I didn't know Tuxedo Man was like, I should have known that.
There's something. So it is a little different when it's not the daddy raising his wife situation.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
But when it's just an age gap in general.
Mhm.
And again, I do feel different now than do I feel different now than I did before? I'm a little less. I have a harder time enjoying it when it is a huge age gap because I look at that and say, yo, but that character is so young. So
Mhm.
anything like with the teacher and the character romance, I hated those.
Mhm.
Hate those now. Can I still say past tense? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Have I really shifted a lot? Because it is such a different
no, I've
experience
shifted a
looking
lot.
at the same characters and dynamics when you're, again, 10, 15, still in school than when you're a grown adult. Because now I look back on some of these shows and it's like, I don't know about that one. I
like to say we both shifted a lot. I like to say we both grew. Yeah, I think we both have different. I think all of us had to at least come to a point in age and be like, I don't, is that what I think it is? Like, you know, you tend to side-eye it just a little bit. And then you get older, you're like, nah, I need more office romance. Listen.
We all started to watch more just office romance or at the very
Yes,
college
I
romance.
love that.
And we
Shout out to
love
What's a Koi.
it.
The anime, not the manga.
What about when it's not a romance, when it's just fan service? Are you still okay with shows with fan service?
Oh, I have no problem with fan service.
I have no problem with fan service. If there is a gap, if there's like an age gap.
No,
like,
not
when it
even an
comes to,
age
like,
gap. I mean, just the
the
character
service.
by themselves. There's no second person, just the one character, and it's flashing her panties.
I don't care.
One character in jiggle. Do you feel different? I think I'm okay with it. I won't say it's bad, but I do feel different.
I feel
So
different.
whereas before I wouldn't even flinch, now it's just like, yeah, there it is. It feels awkward. That's what it is. It's not bad. It's just a little bit of awkwardness around the edges, depending on how it's done. So my dress up darling, love it to death. Admittedly, and I do absolutely love it, adore it, highly recommend it. But a little part of my brain, does like almost like tripping over a pebble or a little crack. It's like, goop, yep, yeah. Those titties belong to a certain someone. And yeah, 2D characters. So I will never say it's morally bad because I still stay on the same side now that I did 10 years ago and 10 years before that if I was thinking about ethical philosophy. A 2D drawing does not matter to me.
No.
Okay.
I think that's
2D,
what fan
I'll
service
still out.
doesn't
Like
matter.
I won't go like I could never. How dare they? How could they? It's ruined the show for me. No, I still freaking love this show. It is a great, fantastic show. I love the art and I love the fan service too. Like 2.5 Dimension Seduction. We're reading the manga. The anime was okay. The manga is even better. I adore it. It is dirty. It is hilarious, and they do such a great job writing the characters. I don't have a problem with it, but I do think I stumble a little bit more now than I did when I was the same age as those characters. Not enough to ruin it, but I trip a little.
I would stumble if they ever make a live action. Then I'm like, hey, you gotta clean it up. You gotta figure it out.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no. You
gotta
can't make a
clean it
live
up.
action of this.
Or if
Okay.
you make a live action, guess what? You're gonna have to pull a Bridgerton, and everybody gonna have to be an adult anyway. All right.
Hey. Sorrow prayers. Yeah. Even if it's fan service, I side eye a little bit if it's a kid with the panty shots.
Yeah, middle school and under is always weird.
Yeah. Middle school under is weird.
Yeah.
I do separate a line between lolly and like high schooler. So 15 and 9, it does feel even different. Because if it's a really young one, I look at the artist a little crazy. Again, I will never judge, say it's terrible, it's garbage, and you're a disgusting pervert for reading or liking it. But I do look at the artist like, you had to do that? High school, fine. But like real young,
Maybe
it's a lot.
side-eye.
Damn, at the same time, am I a hypocrite? Because I love gushing over magical girls so much. I fucking love that show. I don't know. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. Maybe it depends on how good it is. Oh my God, we're going just back full circle. It depends on the skill, was it?
Oh,
Talent
You're
enough
going
to
back
drive
full
you through.
circle.
If
I
you
told you, I'm
execute it
fine with fan
well.
service.
Hence, ladies and gentlemen, please read Promise Neverland. I'm kidding, but it's a good read. Read it. But if you have kids, kiss your kid goodnight before you start reading it. just a little, just make you feel a little better. Just like, the trauma will definitely get you. But what's next up for raps? Are we done with this part of the segment, or do we have final words to say?
I think we got it. I think we covered it.
Okay, so what I wanted to bring up was, I know Bree and Derby don't really have a skin in the game for this as far as like horror. So I just finished watching Derry, right? Welcome to Derry. If you guys don't know, Welcome to Derry is on HBO. It's a series based on the book It. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail of how great this series was because Bree and Derby are not watching it. But I do want
Go
to.
into all detail you want. I'm not gonna watch it.
No, I understand, but I want you guys to also be involved in the conversation. So, what I really want to talk about is the artistry and the creativity of world building, right? Now, not all of us, not everybody, and I always say this, not everybody can be an Oda, right? Now, even if you're not a person who loves horror, but there are some elements to this series that make you appreciate the time and the detail it took place to just lay everything out for the foundation of the show. Now, a lot of people said this show was hard to pick up because it doesn't pick up until episode 3. Now, I'm a One Piece fan. I could let shit sit and simmer. It just has to be a great, delicious main course with an absolute delicious cup of tea with dessert. I'm willing to stay for that, right? So it didn't bother me. What made the show absolutely amazing is the directors took it upon themselves to make this the blackest series I have ever seen on HBO. Characters that I have never seen or heard about in the book, I'm seeing. So basically, it's white people doing white people shit and black people saving the world with some Native Americans. So that's why I was like, God damn. So let me just give you a synopsis real quick, right? So there's an alien, real quick. There's an alien that was being punished, and this punishment was for this person to be exiled in Earth before Earth was Earth. So this alien has been there for
So Taco got it.
Taco P. Yes. But before civilization, Taco P was Taco P by himself, right? So now, boom, years, decades roll around, and this alien realizes it has an obsession with flesh, but not just flesh. It's more so children's flesh when they are scared, because there's a type of adrenaline that goes into that streams through their body when they're petrified that makes the meat juicier and saltier, a little Larry's, if you might say. So what ends up happening is that the Native Americans noticed that this monster was taking different shapes. So not everybody can describe what this monster is because it took shape of your biggest fears, right? So then they realized that, hey, you know what? They found a couple of pillars which came from the alien spaceship, right? So they found the pillars and realized that when they held one, which was like a black glossy rock, when you held it, he would disappear, or she or it would disappear. So then it was like, okay, cool. Let's just build a barrier around where the spaceship had landed so he won't come out. But the problem is the pillars are what the aliens have put in the spaceship for him to remain in the ship, but the ship crashed, right? So what they did, they built a barrier with the pillars, which is like, I think 13. But what ends up happening is every 27 years he wakes. Now on the 27th year, on that anniversary, that date, he goes ham. Children, adults, all of them get it as long as he's able to scare the shit out of them. He's eating, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Native Americans, they don't do shit. They let the motherfucker eat because they know they're watchers. So basically, it's a council that watches it to make sure that he goes back after his feeding, right? They don't stop him because, truth be told, your ass ain't supposed to be out in the streets after 7 o'clock anyway. You need to be in the house. And plus, he's eating mostly white folks, so, it's whatever. So their job is to make sure that the pillars are not moved out of place and that the monster comes back. It comes back to where it's supposed to be after the 27th anniversary. Yes. Now, it just so happens this white guy who was like, oh, I remember this monster. I think it's a dream, but I remember. Now, once you live in Derry and you move out, you tend to forget certain things. But this nigga remembered his meeting with it after he was saved. So he comes back. Now he's military, and he's like, we can use this monster. So that's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens.
The
But
military let it out. Got it.
military, yes. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I just want you guys to not you guys, but I just want to say that I appreciate storytelling because everything comes in full circle. Like they set it up for season 2. So it has an interaction with one of the little girls. And he's like, I know who you are. You're Margaret. I want to kill you so bad because you know what? After I sleep, right? And I wake up again, your son come and try to kill me, and he does. So that sets up season 2. Then you start thinking like, damn, how does he know future events? Does he really go to sleep? Or when he put back to sleep, he's really time traveling? So it's just a lot of things that, yeah, it's just well written. And I'm just like appreciative of just people who actually, writers, creatives, that actually are able to lay everything out. So I wanted to ask Bree, because we know Bree does fanfic. Not only does Bree do fanfic, we can't find none of the shit. But when you do fanfic, right, it's different from actually creating because you're just creating more into the story with what was already laid out for you as far as the foundation from the original author. So if you decided to write a story straight off head, what do you think is the fundamentals for you as a consumer and also loving books and loving writing and creativity would be the best basis in order for you to captivate your audience and have them pulled in?
Okay, and you're talking a story, not fanfic, right?
Right.
I'd probably immediately lean towards what we always say for anime, characters above everything. And in the case of like writing, you need to have a unique voice for your character and an inherent logic to the way they act and view the world, because you're going to view the world through this character and that character's journey. So the character should come first and foremost in fleshing out who is this person that when people start reading, they immediately fall into this person's speed, their mannerisms, their tone. And then after that, you think about this person's journey, both the actions of the plot that'll happen to them and how they change or remain the same throughout that journey. Because at the end of the day, what people remember most are their characters. So I think that's what I would recommend starting with, getting a real clear tone of voice perspective. And that's why also fanfic flourishes so much, because people play with the characters that are already created. Like writing a fanfic is like playing with a dollhouse. The dollhouse is already made, the doll itself is already made, but what you're doing is you're moving it around in different ways that the original story didn't have them interact. What if they turned left instead of right at this intersection type of deal. But it only works so well because the character itself already was whole and interesting.
That is beautiful. This is why I couldn't wait to talk to Bree. But now let me reverse it to Derby. Now, not from a writer's perspective, not a creative's perspective, right? As a consumer, what is it for you to be totally captivated by the creator, by the author? What's going to keep you? Is it the world building or the character? Because Bree just said is basically you have the character first and then everything else will come after, as far as world building, the perspective, and set story. What is it for you that's going to be like, ooh, you going home with me? The book, not the person.
So if it's a book, it's gonna be the back of the premise. Well, no. So you're gonna hate me, Patty, because it's the same answer. It is character.
I thought you were going to say it's the plastic, because if it comes to plastic,
I know. Plastic sometimes is a lie. It's wild. Hey, sometimes you bring that book home like, ooh, you open it up and I'm like, what is this PG bullshit? I pay good money as an adult, but that's besides the point. Nah, characters over everything, because, like, for example, we're watching You and I Are Polar Opposites in this season. Couldn't give a fuck about the setting. Every single character makes me fall in love. And I cannot choose a favorite. Like, side characters are explored and have personality that I can relate to and just remember from high school, like, oh yeah, I remember feeling this way. I remember thinking just these thoughts. Like, it is so well crafted that the world just doesn't, like, you could put them in any school, any world, and it still works. The same thing's happening with Sentenced to Be a Hero. Like, first episode, I'm like, and then we met His Majesty, and I'm like, I fucking love this
Love His
show.
Majesty.
Like,
Love him.
what?
Love him. Yeah.
Like, you hear about Tatsuya, and I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm now building not based off the world, just what happened to you, because that's what I want to know,
Yeah.
right?
And a well-written
The world is
character,
second-
it only takes you like 5 seconds to fall in love. If a character is written well enough, you don't need 10 episodes to like them. You should, within the first, say, minute of their introduction, say, this guy. Again, think of the first time you see Your Majesty. Think of the new guy they relatively recently introduced, Neely. Oh no, Jace with the dragon Neely. And you're thinking, they're like, is he fucking his dragon? I think he's fucking that dragon. But he plays it off so smoothly that it's hilarious and it's interesting.
All right.
Okay. So, okay, go ahead, Bree. I mean, Derby. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
Nah. So yeah, the world falls into secondary. It's not that the world is not important. Like, if there's no world, then the characters are fun, but eventually it starts to taper off because the characters have nothing to do, because nothing's happening in the world. But you need that first base of giving a fuck about what's happening to these people and or animals, depending on what they decided to make the show about. Like, you need to care, and if you don't, then it doesn't matter how cool and epic the world is. It's like, I don't give a fuck what happens to them, so I don't want to watch this.
You want to know what's so crazy? Watching Derry, I realized that there's a lot of the characters that pissed me off. I just was like, but the initial world building, where the alien came from, Derry itself, the fact that you leave Derry and you forget certain shit, the fact that the pillars exist and there's a council that protects the aliens from doing damage. I'm like, wow, this is good. So I'm a little on the fence because yes, I do agree that great characters will make a great story, but I don't think great characters can hold a longevity to a story if the world building isn't that great.
I agree. That's what I just said. Like, if you just have great characters.
Wait, say it again.
I just said that too.
No, you
like,
said no. Say the other one.
I do agree in part.
Thank you. I just wanted to put that on the soundboard.
I said, like, yo, if we have great characters, eventually, if the world building is trash, the story just tapers off. So it's like, yeah, it's a great character, but nothing's happening, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, this is cool that this character's here, but like nothing's happening in the world to like go with that. That it just falls apart.
I don't know if that's
I would
necessarily
say
true.
the same.
I think you can go a long time. Like, say you might not be able to go a 10-year-long series, but I wouldn't say that it's not sustainable. Because right off the top of my head, I can think of 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. No plot, pretty trash world building because it's not really going out that much. But the characters are fun. Now, admittedly, that is a bit more of a gag show. So gag shows can go. But when you say long running, how long running does it have to be? Like, if you're talking about perpetual, well then yeah, but inevitably anything might get stale after like attempting to perpetually be good. But I think good characters, like if you're there to watch them and their adventures, even if those adventures are doing nothing, can really hold you with longevity.
I don't know. What makes me like a character is their growth.
But is
also
that the
their
same as world
pettiness.
building?
Yes, because
Their
I feel like
pettiness?
they're and their pettiness. Because I
I
feel
do love a
like
good petty character.
I love a good petty character, but I feel like what makes the character is their environment, how they react to their environment. So if you don't have that, and the character's just dealing with day-to-day shit, like, the milkman or whatever the case is, or going to school on time, that's cool and all for a gag. But when I'm talking about peak fiction, I think I need a balance of both, right?
Oh, well,
So I
yeah,
need
if
the
you're going to be
characters-
peak, everything has to be up there.
Well, I guess peak
I agree
fiction
with that.
has to be decided on which genre we're talking about. Like Bree said, like for an adventure show, like world building is gonna come into play. Like, you're gonna need it.
Right, but I still think characters are more important because think of, say, Solo Leveling. It's a
100
really cool world it's built, And yeah, exactly.
No, no.
If y'all are just
I
listening and
said
not
this.
looking at us on YouTube, first of all, go to YouTube. But Patty made the exact face I mean. It is dull and boring. It's a fascinating world, interesting social, political climate, this fantasy crossed with modern day, with technology. It's so interesting, the world of Solo Leveling. But the anime ends up, aside from the fight scenes and the hype of that, so dull because the characters are so unbearably flat.
Here's the
They're
thing.
so
I
empty,
don't.
it makes it hard to judge and rank the series highly, in my
I don't
opinion.
think. I don't think the characters are overwhelmingly flat in Solo Leveling. I think the main character is overwhelmingly flat in Solo Leveling, and due to him being the strongest, only important thing in the world, everybody else suffers. Like
Yeah, because pretty much every scene, the only thing they say is, "Oh my god, he's so amazing."
like when they
Like,
introduced the
done.
national level hunters, it's supposed to feel super epic, like you're meeting the top of the top, and it's like, but they're gonna lose to Sung Jin Woo, so why are we meeting them? Why do I care?
Yeah, it's
But
because they
without
didn't write
Sung
any
Jin
arcs
Woo,
or personality for them.
but
Like,
that's
it just wasn't written in. So therefore, their characters are bad because the author did not bother to write those characters as
that's what I'm
anything
saying.
other than
Hold on.
reflections.
Hold on, but I'm saying like they have proper personalities. It's just to the core of what's happening in the story. It doesn't matter because they will lose.
I don't need them to
Right.
win. I need them to be interesting. At least anime only, because I know you read it. None of them had any interest. Because again, pretty much all of their lines and scenes were looking at Sung Jin Woo saying, "Wow, he's so impressive." Like
But
that's
that's
the
not-
he's
full
impressive
that's
extent
not
of
because he's
true.
winning.
impression.
They
He's impressive
had
because
plans.
he's winning.
Hold
I
on,
think.
he's impressive because he's winning, but they also had lines and plans around Sung Jin Woo that did not involve him. It's
Mm-hmm.
just because of how the story is written, he has to take center stage. So like that whole plan on Jeju Island has nothing to do with Sung Jin Woo. That is all of these side characters making plans and plots, making deals with side governments. Like it is kind of cool. It's
True.
just Sung Jin Woo shows up and handles
True.
business, and that's it.
Later, yeah.
And that
'cause
is the
they-
artist author's fault for not dividing the screen time appropriately.
Well, but that's what I'm
Is
saying.
it?
I'm saying like the
Yes,
other
if you write the
characters.
story,
But that's what I'm saying. All I'm
that's what
saying
you
is
wrote.
that the other characters are not flat. It's just Sung Jin Woo sucks up all the oxygen in the room.
yeah.
Like they
Which
have
flattens
been
the
given
characters.
personalities and plans and thoughts and ideologies of what they want to do. It just doesn't matter to the overwhelmingness that is Sung Jin Woo.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just yeah, I just needed to know your opinions on it because you love to read. You guys are also creatives as well. I just wanted to know, even though you guys will never ever pick this series up, I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like the basis of it. You know what? I think I'm not watching enough shows because I'm left with God. You ever watch something so good or read something so good? You was like, damn, what's next?
Yes.
it
Like
ruins
I'm
it for
not
you.
gonna get something as
Ruins
good
everything else.
as that. Yeah. And sometimes you need a break because now you can't pick up just anything.
I always
Right?
suggest breaking with like comedy things. So watch a stand up, watch a random
Yeah.
sitcom that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I leave the whole genre behind. If it was too good of an anime, guess what? I'm going to K-drama. Too good of a K-drama, I'm going to reality TV.
Listen,
That
you know
reality
what I've learned?
season slaps. Guess what? I'm diving back into some light novels just because I can't.
Listen, I'm also right now because of this whole series. I'm getting the book. The book is over 1,368 pages, right? Because it's two parts. It's two parts. It's the parts with the kids, and they grow up and they leave, and then they come back to Derry 27 years later, right? So that's why it's two parts. And then remember the whole universe of that realm. We got Shawshank. I don't know if you know Shawshank Redemption. That's part of the same realm. We got Green Mile. That's part of the same universe as it. All of that. When I tell you I'm dived in, I am dived in. I'm reading the original because this world is absolutely phenomenal. And then we have psychics on top of it. People that see dead people incorporated in this show. Then we got The Shining. That's in the same universe. Doctor Sleep, because this is what happens to the little boy. I am so into this right now when it comes to writing, like this world of that Stephen King built. I'm looking for a documentary on Stephen King. This man has to be studied. I said this before in another podcast that I was in last week. Shout out to Moon Peace. There's a different type of coke that you have to take in order to do some shit like this. It's like the good blue magic. You ever go into a middle of a book, it's so good, you like, this nigga went, all right, let's go. Woo! All right, I already know. Like, when it came to Oda's not real. He's not human. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a whole chamber in his house, his mansion. There's no way you write in Peak like this, the longevity of it, and still get only 3 hours of sleep. He's not real. I'm convinced. I already know. Conspiracy me all you want.
Very sad, because that means an AI Oda has always existed, and she loves it.
That would be terrifying. Yeah, I'd have to reevaluate my entire life impression of AI. But Patty, what I want you to do is after you read Stephen King's It, I want you to come back and tell me, is the book as good, or did the show just do a phenomenal job? Because, you know, right now I'm super crazy about Bridgerton. So crazy. I've been watching analysis over analysis videos comparing the book to the season. And so far, unanimously, they're saying, yo, everything that's good, that's Shonda. Queen Charlotte did not ever appear in the book. That's all Charlotte. Or Shonda Rhimes. Yeah. Lady Danbury, all this. The books, garbage. The guys, trash. For it, it's like they're a lot more shallow.
Shonda was like, yo, what if I make them actually great?
It was Shonda flexing that made it so good. So that's why I'm curious.
I think she's part of that too.
Book good, or did it really get out? Was it okay, but elevated to greatness by a damn good production studio? Or not production studio, but
I'll let you know,
producer, showrunner, or whatever.
The directors were on that coke too. The directors was on the coke too, because when they were doing the analysis after the series, I was like, oh, you was doing it on the left nose, not the right. I already know what type of time it was. Mind you, this book got 2 movies, one in the 90s, one in like the 80s, which was like 3 hours. And then they brought it back again a couple of years ago and they made it into 2 parts. Right?
Right. But is that because the book was so good? Because everybody knows the name Stephen King. Because, you know, admittedly, I'm taking this as a grain of salt because I have read one Stephen King novel. Admittedly, I listened to the audiobook, but that's a whole separate debate.
Wait, I need to know the title.
Hold on. Let me lay out the situation. So I was driving cross country, California to New York with my mom in the car. So me and her, mommy, daughter, cross country road trip, a lot of fun. And we decided we'll listen to an audiobook on the way. What should we do? Stephen King, you know, we know he is one of like the greatest, most prolific writers of our time right now. He's got this new book out called Fairy Tale. It was called Fairy Tale. So we downloaded it. I listened and I started thinking, this is a little dumb, but maybe let me like wait for the beat to drop. I kept listening. And again, cross-country road trip, this is like 40 hours. I don't remember exactly how long the audiobook was, but we were pretty much listening to this one off and on the whole way. And I kept listening like, I'm still waiting for it to get good. Why is it dumb? Why are the characters so dumb? This is flat. The plot is just straightforward. Like, there's a little bit of body horror going on, but like, this is Stephen King? And that wasn't what made me mad. Hold on. That wasn't what made me the most mad. I finished reading it. It was so bad that the air freshener I had in my car, I started associating the scent with the experience of driving and constantly listening to the point where if I smell that now, I had to change the scent. I get pissed just from the smell alone because it takes me back to listening in that car.
That's crazy.
So after I finished, I was like, okay, this was crap. Maybe it wasn't that good. So I'm going to do what I always do. I like seeing reviews. I like to see other people's opinions because I liked having my own and then reflecting off of others. So I got online ready to be, you know, validated and like, okay, this was garbage. Maybe this other stuff is better. And all I saw across the digital realm was glazing. Glaze. Oh my God, another masterpiece. This is top tier Stephen King, peak fiction, 10 out of 10. Excellent, incredible. I'm like, bitch, did we read the same book? This is peak Stephen King. If this is peak Stephen King ain't shit. I was so pissed because I could not understand how people loved it so much after I experienced it. And like, this isn't good though. Is he just that famous that everything he turns out?
I think it's because he's that famous. I think it's because he's that famous. I'm going to tell you why. He has a series called Dark Tower, right? The Dark Tower series, right? That's the movie. The first book was a movie with Idris Elba. So I decided to download.
I remember wanting to watch that movie because Idris Elba was in it.
Don't watch it. So
I heard
it's
terrible
trash.
things.
It's trash. Now I tried reading the book before I went to go see the movie. The book was so bad. I sat there and got all 7. The book was so bad. The first book was so trash. I cursed out Idris Elba in my head. I'm going to tell you why. The premise of the book and the series sounded so great because I Googled it. So the Dark Tower is the tower between the real, reality and the astral plane. Let's call it the astral plane. There's a tower that separates the two. There's a villain who does not want it to be separated. He wants people from the astral plane or spirits from the astral plane to intertwine with reality. So what he does, he gets at least 7 people who have telekinetic powers and he brings them to the Dark Tower to fuck up the lining. When he does that, guess what happens? We get The Shining. It comes out after 27 years. Like, that's how all of that, he incorporates all that later and makes it intertwined with his universe. That is smart. But the writing and the storytelling in that first book was so doo-doo. I was like, I forced myself to finish reading because I said, bitch, you got 7. You gotta hurry up and finish. And then I dropped the book. I closed it. I closed it mad hard because I remember I was at work. I shouldn't be reading at work, but fuck this job. It was my old job. So I slammed the book down. I said, fuck. I remember I said, fuck, just like that. And the book was horrible. Now, Stephen King did say that he was on that coke, right? And he had an addiction. So I'm assuming when he was transitioning, he wrote the series. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know. But I am intrigued with certain authors, and I just want to go into their psyche to see how they're able to put all this together. Because it's not just coffee, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's not. And sometimes you're just looking at them, I'm like, it's just like, all right, perfect example, Journal to Witch.
Oh, gorgeous.
All right, you see
We're still behind, no spoilers, but it's so beautiful.
No spoilers. Now there's the niece actually questions the aunt on how she's able to be such a great writer but has no fucking feelings. She has no idea on how to mourn. She's never expressed a loss. Like, she has expressed the loss, but she handles it in a different way. And then you read her novels and you like, this bitch is making me cry. Is this from the same woman? That's what I'm intrigued about. I'm like, oh, bitch, we need a documentary on you. You need to be studied. And if you are doing these things, these beautiful works of fiction without coke, I need to know how, like, what's in your psyche, what type of dreams you be having. It got to be alcohol or maybe a little oxy. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. But I just feel like sometimes the human mind can't be capable of doing all this stuff to make you, like, just want to dive in. Like, you just want to sit there in the world, not dairy, because dairy, that's crazy. And plus, it's 1950. They don't like black people back then. But still, you're just like captivated by all this. And that's why I was like, I need to talk about this on the show because I just finished it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's, man. It's, whoo. Cocaine a hell of a drug.
You gotta let me know if you read it. Is it as good? You gotta let me know.
I'll let you know about
It's like the 10th Tower, 7th Tower, Dark Tower.
Yeah. It's another example too. Octavia Butler, she's a black sci-fi author who passed away years ago, and she just writes amazing sci-fi with premise black people, right? But it doesn't have the trauma that you would necessarily, it's just good shit. But the fiction that she's known for, that they put into series and movies, is fucking Kindred. And that's a slave shit. And I'm like, out of all the shit that she wrote, this is your king. This is what you pick? And I love Kindred. No, I hate Kindred. I love Octavia Butler, but out of all the works that she has written, this is what you guys picked. This is not even her best shit. So I'm in the journey of finding out what is Stephen King's what's his shit? What's he's really about? Because I know you can't be writing this great because there's no consistency on it. Because we all know that fairy tale shit was doo doo, Dark Tower was doo doo, and all of a sudden it. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read the first part of it, and I'll let you know if Stephen King is true or not. Okay, but yeah, that's it.
I think that brings us to the end for today. Woo! That was a journey. Any last words?
Buy a Black Ramen sweater. Ladies and gentlemen, tune into Black Ramen Podcast. Also, we have a Patreon where you would get this episode raw and unedited. Pause. On the Patreon. Definitely come and support, because the more you support, the more we could come out with episodes. Yo, we've been doing good for the past couple of weeks. You see the premieres. We've been on point. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Derbs. Appreciate you. Don't forget, we do have an anime trivia book. The access to that is on our link tree, on our Instagram, and our TikTok. Just hit the link tree. You could purchase a beautiful anime trivia book. It's amazing. It has great questions. You'll be surprised on the answers. Yes, you was wrong. Just go to the back. And then don't forget to just follow us, subscribe. The more supporters that we gain, the more we have access to go into cons and get press passes in order to have these great interviews for you guys to actually tune in. Because remember, we're not asking questions that they want us to ask. We're asking questions as you as fans want to know, even though we might get kicked out afterwards, but we did it. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. What is Derby doing? He is what you was in the Google. I know that Google face, because that's the face I make when I'm on Google.
I was Googling some stuff. Yeah, it's not important.
Okay. My bad.
My
But
bad.
yeah. Nah, it's all good. I was just intrigued. I was like, oh my God. Send that link over here. But yes, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into Black Ramen Podcast. Don't forget to support. Don't forget to follow us on all major platforms. And with that being said, any final words, ladies and gentlemen? Bree, Derby.
Nothing this time. Still read a book, actually.
Yes, we have a
All right. Peace.
peace.